single arm circles to start off with. So arm up and around. We are doing some different movements. We're working lower body and upper body. I've got a range of different weights. Take the arm back the other way. However, you've just got to use what you've got available to you. I know not everyone's got a huge different amount of weights. Change arm. So we work with what we've got, and I'll give you different variations and options throughout so that you can adapt to help you to get the most from the workout. Back the other way. Good, then we're going to bring the arms out at 90 degrees. I want you to bring them up to the side, rotate them up towards the ceiling. So as we come up, I want you to rotate slightly backwards, then down to the floor, then back down to center. So we're going to come up, rotate, drop down, drop down. Yeah, so that's 3 phase movements. We're just hitting the shoulder into every single angle as we're going to be using lots of different angles today. So all good. Good, one more. Ooh, take the arms out. We're going to turn one palm towards the ceiling, one down. This is my favorite. Oh, releases out the neck as well. Good, that's coming to our squats, setting up nice solid squat position, weight into the heels, press through the heels and squeeze your butt as you stand, and just getting that little bit of a switch on, coming on through the core. Good, then arms open out, squeeze your butt, clench your fists, we engage through the upper back, we're clenching the butt cheeks, and then we come around and we're going to hit the bum as we stimulate the blood flow into the glutes. Wake up those ass cheeks because they're getting ready to work. Up and out and squeeze, and then hit the butt. We're going to do that one more time. Squeeze, 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 and then hit the bum. So we're going to come into a wood chopper, so bringing in some rotational movement. So I want you to drop down, lift the heel, and as we come up, reach across the body. So down low, reach up and across, as we're going to be adding some rotation into today's session. So we're just warming it up, feeling nice and controlled. Now we always have to be careful a little bit with rotational work if you've got lower back issues. However, we do want to train it, change sides, because it's a functional movement. Our body rotates and twists as we move through life, as we're picking things up off the floor, skiing, climbing, whatever, swimming, anything. Lots of movements include rotation, so it's important that we train it in a controlled manner so that when we come to do those rotational movements in real life, that we can do it feeling strong and good. Change sides. Okay, we're going to go side lunge, out to the side, out to the other side, and this time step behind. Oi. So side lunge, curtsy lunge, side lunge, curtsy lunge. Again, just waking up the legs in these different directional changes. On the next rep, I just want you to take it, hold it out, and drop it down. Keep the outside of the foot planted. Bring it up to center, over to the other side, drop down. Good, and release. We're going to do that curtsy, slower, and we're just going to add a reach over the top. Change sides, reach up, oh gosh, they feel good. They feel good. Okay, we're going to get going into block number 1. So we are supersetting. Now, I've gone quite heavy on the squats today. I'm not going to lift both of these. If you've got lighter weights but you have 2, you can hold them up here. And we're just going to be doing a front squat. I'm not going to hold both of those. If you've got a heavy weight and you just want to hold one, then your option is hold it once in the center. But I want you to encourage yourself to lift maybe a little bit heavier than you have been doing. So if you've only been using the one weight, see if you can start off with 2. You can always drop it back down. And exercise number 2 is just going to be a basic deadlift. So if you've got heavy weights, we're going down, 1 in each hand, drop down, Wait till we feel that stretch. Squeeze, come back up. However, if you haven't got heavier weights available, you could just do one, but you could add a single leg if you wanted to make it that little bit harder. Okay, so lots of options there. So go single leg if you've got a lighter weight, heavier, and we're gonna go for 40 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, and we've got 3 rounds. Are we ready? And get into it. So use those 2 weights if you've got that availability, and you want to push yourself a little bit on today's session. So let's roll the shoulders up and down, up, back and down, I should say. Here we go, front squat. So on the front, the great thing about a front squat or a weighted front squat is it really helps you to get that depth into that movement. And this is what we want. We want the butt to sit back and down towards the floor. We're pulling in through the navel, but keeping it safe for your range of mobility, dependent on how much movement you have in the knee, the hip, and the ankle is going to dictate how low you can get in your squat. But challenge yourself to go down there. Push through your heels and squeeze your butt as you come up. Rest. Woo, deadlift. I'm going to pick up 2 for the deadlift. So again, we want the length through the spine, belly in. Ground the feet, here we go. Tip forwards. Wait till you feel the stretch. Squeeze the heels into the floor. Switch on those hamstrings as we stand back up. So we want the head looking out in front, belly button drawn in. If you've got a lighter weight, remember you've got that option to single leg. You could also take a pause at the bottom. So you pause, 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 then come up. And that's gonna make it a little bit harder. One more. Good, and take a break. We're back to exercise number 1, the squat. Get ready. Set your position. Chest lifted, here we go. So come on. Get that butt down. So we always, the reason I do that wake up of the glutes at the beginning, because we can have this tendency to, you know, the glutes get extended and we don't fire as much and we can drop forward. Keeping the head upright. Press your weight down into your heels. And again, if you've got a lighter weight, you might find that you can move a little bit quicker and get more reps in, but I don't want you to miss out on the range. I want you to get down low. Rest. Back to the deadlift. Choose your option. Always take a reset. Let's go down. Length, length, length. Squeeze as we come up. Hinge from the hip. Slight bend in the knee. So we keep looking forward so the back remains in line. Pulling back or drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Again, keeping that nice alignment in through the spine. Strong through those legs. Waking up and working that back line. Use the breathing. Relax. We got 1 round to get through. Back for the squats. Set the feet into position. Let's go. So come on. Yes. Nice work. And again, yeah, if you wanted to, if you've got a lighter weight and you wanted to get some more body movement in, get those, you could add in a shoulder press. So we're increasing that heart rate a little bit more. Come on, dig those heels in. You could also add tempo on this to make it harder. So you go down slow, pause, then power it up. Come on, last few seconds. Get down there. Push, rush. Woo. Relax, well done. Rest is coming up after this one. You get a breather whilst I show you the next block. Tip. Let's go. So, we want to challenge the flexibility almost of those hamstrings. don't go beyond your flexibility capabilities. We want to just take it to where we feel the length. And pressing for the heels. Powering back up to center. Come on, 10 seconds to go on this one. Nearly there, last one. And relax. Okay, take a breather. So we're coming on to upper body, and this is, we're going to be quite static for the next one, and sometimes a bit like, don't always necessarily like to be just standing in one place, but we're going to isolate these muscles. So exercise 1, bicep curl. If you get to the point where they're feeling a little bit heavy, you can alternate them one then the other. If they are very light, focus on squeezing and engaging the muscle on the way up and coming down super slow. Exercise 2, lateral raise, out to the side, lead with the elbow. So just those 2 exercises. I'm going to start with those 15s and see how we get on. I might have to drop it down. But if you're lighter, you've really got to, I've talked to you about this before, having that imaginary heaviest thing that you've ever lifted in your life, having that mind-body connection can help you get more out into that muscle. So palms under, chest lifted, let's go. So you adjust as is relevant to you. You can be wide stance, or if you prefer, you can be split stance. What I don't want is any swinging. You want to keep it controlled so that the body's nice and stable. If you want to make it harder, just slow it down on that eccentric phase so as the muscle is lengthening out. Breath out on the way up. Nearly there. And relax. So I have the option to go a little bit lighter for the lateral raise because my shoulders sometimes get a bit niggly. If you don't have that pleasure, you can adjust as you need. Here we go. So easier with the elbows almost at like a right angle. If you've got a lighter weight, you might be able to find that you could keep the arms lengthened out. You again want to go and focus on that downward phase. So we're resisting gravity on the way back down. Keep your chest lifted. Your abs are still switched on. Regenerate everything from the core. Breathe out. Resist to come down. We're nearly there. Relax. If you have those lighter weights, you might just come down even slower. They don't feel particularly nice, but sometimes. Back to the bicep curls. Here we go. Good. So we want to keep the elbows tucked in by the side on these, keeping the palms facing up for this particular move. And remember that it's that downward phase. You could even have like a 10-second hold at the 90-degree point if you feel you need to give a little bit more. I don't know about you, but these are feeling pretty tough for me. Come on. Creating that tone and definition. Strong, defined, sexy looking arms. Rest. Out to the side for the lateral raise. Set. Ready. Go. So on this, we want to lead with the elbow. You don't want necessarily the weights coming up higher. You want to lead with the elbow. Resist coming down. Out and then lower. Upright, avoid any leaning backwards or indeed leaning forwards. If you find that you do feel it on your back, raise up that back heel so we've got an elevated back heel. Just sometimes increases. Some people prefer to be in this split stance. Use your breathing. Exhale on the way up. Come on. Slow come down. Relax. We've got one more round to get through. Do I go back heavy again or do I stay with these? Come on, let's go for it. Let's go heavier again. Are we ready? Let's do this. Woo. Yes, I'm not always a super massive fan of just isolating single body parts, but they definitely have a place, especially when you want to change the shape and tone and have, you know, it looks, who doesn't want super toned arms? And having that definition in the bicep definitely helps you achieve that. Try not to swing it out. I could feel myself wanting to swing a little bit, as now it's starting to feel hard. I've got a weight that's challenging me, which is what we want to aim for. Oh, relax. Ooh. Lateral raise. Here we go. So remember, if you need to take it a bit more, lengthen the arms out so they're a bit longer. You need to pull it back, have that 90-degree, and still want to come down quite slow. Don't rush it. Take your time. Resist the urge to want to just slower. Woo-hoo. I hope you are feeling the work here. Come on. We're nearly there on this run. This is the final round. Relax. Well done. Okay, next block. We are doing a single arm snatch and then a renegade row with the tricep push-up. So, single arm snatch, one arm out to the side, head stays upright. We use the legs and the power comes from the legs. We lead with the elbow and then transition up. I know some of you are using kettlebells, and if that's the case, we have to have this rotation so that the kettlebell doesn't flip over the wrist, because that's when you get bruises on the back of your wrist. So using the legs, generate some power. Let's get that heart rate going. We're going to swap sides at halfway. We're then coming down for a renegade row. And on this, I generally like to put my hands on the floor because it hurts my hands to put them there. If you've got hex weights like me, you can put the hand on top, but that's not always an option if you've got the rounded dumbbells. So feet a little bit wider, shoulders forward, tailbone under. We're gonna go row, row, then a tricep push-up. So you can, of course, come to the knees if you need to, elbows by the side, then into a repeat. Ready? Snatch. Renegade row with a tricep push-up. On this, we still want to create that depth in the squat, but keeping the head upright. Go. So we drive powerful through the legs because we're using it unilaterally. So one side, there's an element through the core also. Make sure that you are not just bending forward when you go down, that you are keeping your head up and getting your butt down to the floor. Drive up through the legs. Switch sides. And we want to have that powerful movement on the way up. Your heart rate should be increasing. Nearly there. Rest. So, down for the renegade row. Choose where you want the hands to be. Feet a little bit wider than mat. Go. Row. Row. And then you can always come to the elbow. I just want to make sure that you've got the elbows in by the side. So hit back of the arms. You can, of course, do them on your toes. On the renegade row, we want to avoid too much movement. So kind of avoided like leaning over to one side. We want to try and keep the body stable. If it's too much with the weight, do it without. If you can't stabilize without, scale as always as you need. Rest. Just ensure that you are challenging yourself to do maybe what feels a little bit uncomfortable, but you know it's pushing you. Here we go. So come on, butt gets down to the floor. Then we power up. Lead elbow first before you transition up above the head. Come on, pace on this one. Switch sides. Drive through those heels. Propel the weight upwards. Control. Also on this one, we want the weight to stay close to the body. You don't want to be leaning it out in front. It's staying in a line. Rest. Not for long though. 10 seconds rest. Renegade. Dip. Go. Try to stabilize those hips if you can. So that means you've got to have that pelvis so it's tilted under. You've got tightness into your core. You're drawing up through the pelvic floor muscles to create this real strong, stable base. Bring the elbow up behind, nice and high, and then elbows in by the side for the triceps. Relax. One round to go. They are tough. They are tough. Set the feet out. Head stays up. Go. So come on. We're going for it on this round. The body's warmed. We're prepped. Now we put in the work. Keeping that breathing rate elevated. That's how we know we're pushing. Change arms halfway. Whew. Hope you've got that feel good energy today. We're using it. We're going for it. We're feeling good about it. Relax. Yeah. Set your position. Set your legs. Go. Take your time on the row, don't rush it. And then draw right down into the tricep. Strong. Been a lot for upper body, although we're using entire body. Don't let the butt sink up in the air. Keep the shoulders forward. Keep tucked under with that tailbone. Come on. 10 seconds to go, team. Couple good ones to finish it here. Relax. Okay, core. So we're going to be doing rotational lateral leap. So lower impact. I want you to imagine that you've got hold of a ball. Medicine ball would be the ideal, but I know we don't all have those. So we step to the side. I'm going to imagine that I'm going to throw something behind. As I do that, the leg sweeps behind. So it's step, breathe out as you rotate. If it niggles the back, just do it slower and more controlled. Yeah? So we're going to feel this, feels the breath out that creates this internal contraction, and we're going to feel it in the obliques. If you want to make it harder, we add a jump. And the leg comes out behind, but it doesn't go onto the floor. So just feel your way into it for the first few. Exercise 2 is a dish extension. So level 1 is like a single leg stretch from Pilates. Harder. Notice how the head stays on the floor. Breathing out as we go out. Harder. We make it go lower. Harder still is to grab the weight and to go out. We could even go straight leg. I want you to make sure though that the back is not lifting up off the floor. This is your final one and then we're done. So this is in effect your finisher. Okay, we ready? Of course we are. Step, go. So I'm going to go easier level. Step, go. Step, harder. Breathe out and you're twisting across the body. Keep the spine long, so as though you're keeping it tall to the head, but we don't want to be crouching around in as we rotate. And we are being really dynamic with those arms as we bring them across the body with power. I know I sound ridiculous breathing, so heavy. Come on, push, relax. Down to the floor we go. Weight is an option if you want to add that in. Push the lower back into the floor. Here we go. So out and bring them onto the center. So remember to scale as you need. What I want you to make sure is that the back's not lifting and the rib cage flares out. We keep it all drawn in. We keep contact with the mat. If you need to, pull it back. Create that connection. Have your mind kind of onto the belly button and having that line anchored down from your navel in towards the mat. Again, using the breathing. As we go out, relax. Bring it up for round 2. Just make sure you've not got any weights where you're going to trip up. Safety first, here we go. So if you are doing the low impact one, almost try and think that you're keeping your hands on that ball. We rotate round so we can just take it slower, more controlled. If you've got it, go dynamic. And think also about trying to travel as wide as you've got space for. Yeah, so we're challenging the outside of the leg. Keep it moving. Come on, push. Nearly there. Less than 10 seconds. Drive. Relax. Down we go. Back to floor. Adjust as you need. Go. Also, a full option is, remember, we almost don't want to, the abdominals don't have too much. Draw them inwards. Really use that breath. Have a pause at the end of your range before you bring it back in. Don't go in too soon. When people see us, they know. I feel so much for you. Oh, relax. 1 round to go and you're done. Done for the day. You've put in the work. Get ready. Here we go. Come on. We want to go all in on the final round. This is where we finish the workout off, knowing that we gave it everything, that we went for it. Pushed our capabilities. Challenged ourselves to keep moving, even when it starts to feel tough. And you want to ease off. See if you can dig in and find that extra little bit. Come on. Relax. Set your position. Here we go. So now you've got the challenge of stabilizing your breathing rate while still working that core. Remember the back. Anchored down. Strong. Stable. Connect with your body and where you're feeling it. That 6-pack working all the time. It's in there. It is. And relax. Massive. Well done. Great job. Maybe a little bit out of breath. A little bit tired by me. We're going to bring it down to the floor for a little stretch out. If you want to come and join, hands onto the knees, It's just good to have that release out for the body before you head back into your day. Take those leg circles the other way around. So either keeping the feet elevated if this feels okay. If you do feel any problems in the back, take the feet to the floor, whatever feels best for you. And we're just going to roll those knees over, turning the head in the opposite direction, keeping the shoulders planted down on the floor. And then just use the hand onto the leg to just increase that stretch. Nice release out through the glutes, hips, and into that lower back, especially after all that rotational work. And always, as we calm it down, breathe into it. Allow the body to really let go of the tensions. Bring the knees back up to center, inhale in. Exhale, bring it over to the other side. Oh, I always have those awareness as well when one side feels tighter than the other, because this is my tight side. If you want to increase that or straighten out that lower leg and pull the knee over a little bit more, if that feels good. Bring it back up to center, foot to the knee. We're going to reach through, pull in. Now, if we can, just hold on to one knee or one with one hand, I should say. So as we're pulling this in, I'm going to bring the other hand onto my opposite knee. So I want to push my knee in towards the hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as we exhale, I'm going to try and bring the legs closer. And again, push the knee to the hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale as you exhale, bring it in close, and just notice how much more space you create. Just hold it there. If you want to increase that now, hold on with the other hand and keep drawing inwards. Release. Change sides. Again, just take it to where we can just feel it. Keeping this foot flexed, keeping the knee safe. So holding on with that one hand, bring the other hand to the knee. I'm just going to press my knee in towards the hand for 5, 4, 3. Inhale, preparing, and exhale. Increase it. One more time. Push into the knee for 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale. And exhale, increase, pull it forward now, hook on, pull it in, and hopefully you've just found that you've just got a little bit more out of that hip, out of the glute, released it that little bit more, and then let it go. So we're going to take the hands onto the insides of the legs and just let the legs flop out to the side. This is always one, you don't want anybody walking in on you on this one. Release, bring the legs up, straighten them out, take them out to the side as well as you can, and hold the stretch. I'm not in a great position here because I've hit the wall. Just apply that little bit of pressure onto the legs, taking it out. Release, bringing it in. We're going to come up to kneeling position. Foot out in front, straight leg, tip forward, feel into the hamstrings. So if you've got something to hold on to, you can do, or just balance here, or if it's available, take it to the floor. Bring your body weight forwards. Drop the hips down, and then if it's available, taking the foot up and behind. Ooh. Keep pushing the hip forwards whilst bringing the heel in towards the butt, but keep the body upright also. Release it down, keeping in that same position, release out the hip flexor, arm up and across. And then release. Change sides. First, level out the hips. Sink back, tip forward, hamstring stretch. Oh, it feels nice.
It amazes me that we didn't fall apart.
Good. Forwards, foot up and behind. Bring the heel in towards the butt. Keep the hip push forward and just lift it.
They keep us on speaking terms. We grow and we learn.
Good, and release it down.
I have no regrets.
Put the hip down ever so slightly. Bring it upright. Arm comes over the top.
Thank you to life for giving us
And release it out. Bring it all the way up to standing position. Take the arms out in front. Trail the head down. Separate out across the back of the shoulders, shoulder blades, and then open it all the way out. Take the hands behind, bring the shoulders towards each other, bring the elbows in, pull them as close as you can, back, back, back. And then release, roll it around, take the head side to side, and then hold it over to one side. And then to the other. And give it a shake. Always giving yourself a round of applause. Awesome job. Well done for getting it done. Hope you got sweat on. Hope you're feeling good.